Hi everyone, hope you're having a good fall break. So we have a short week obviously this week, so I'm going to be going over what you're turning in this Wednesday and Friday. And I want to say that if you have not done the organizing sources for the Reader's Guide activity that was due last Wednesday, so this one where you submit a photo, it's really important that you do that because you're going to have a hard time putting together that section of the Reader's Guide as well as writing your editor's intro if you have not done that. So before you do the work this week, please make sure that you go back and do that organizing sources for the Reader's Guide activity to the best of your ability. Those of you that did it, looked like you had some great sources, great categories that you came up with, so great job. So this week, by the end of the day on Wednesday, you want to do a peer response to your group members' research log 7. And this is the last peer response to the research logs. And you're going to be focusing on giving at least 4 specific comments. They'll have 2 sources there. And you want to focus also on the elevator pitch section. Does that give you a good sense of their topic? And, as an outsider, do you have more of a sense of where they are with their topic? And then by the end of the day on Wednesday, I also want you to look through these 4 reader's guides that I have in this folder here. So these are from a previous semester, and I want you to focus on their editor's introduction, and that will be one of the first things that comes up. So you keep scrolling, you'll see their editor's introduction, and notice how each editor's introduction follows a pattern of 3 specific parts, even if they're not marked as 3 different parts. Each editor's introduction has a kind of beginning, middle, and end to it, and what they're doing in those different sections. I want you to pay close attention to that. So take some time to look through these. I picked them because I thought they were good examples. And you can also see how they are using the categories that they created. So all these students also did the organizing sources activity, and you'll be able to see how they created the categories that they arranged their sources in the collection of sources. So you can see here's their first category, and then the sources they have within that, etc. So I think that's helpful to look at as well. So please set aside enough time to look through those so you get a sense of the genre of the Reader's Guide, and you understand the kinds of things that people are doing in Reader's Guides. Okay, so remember that the genre is made up the conventions, which are the audience's expectations. Okay, so that's it for Wednesday. And then for Friday, you don't have a studio, but you're turning in the downdraft. So if you remember in the previous studio that you did last week, in that essay called Shitty First Drafts, Anne Lamott says the first draft is the downdraft, you just get it down. So this is a probably rougher draft than you're even used to writing. So you just want to get 500 words down, okay? It can be spread over the 3 parts of the editor's introduction. You just want to start getting stuff down that you can then fix up later on. So really, I'm not even at this point in the writing process. It's not something that anyone's going to necessarily critique. So you're just going to get credit if you can show that you've done this. And your group members are not going to be reading this draft. This downdraft is just for you to get your thoughts going on paper. So you turn that in by Friday, and then over the weekend, and I've posted this in this week, but I might move it to next week. But these are exercises that you can do to help you refine your downdraft. So once you have those 500 words, you might try these two options. So one is to just rewrite your downdraft in a different document. So then as you rewrite, you're adding new material, refining what you wrote before, and then thinking of maybe leaving some things off. And the second thing that you might do is this is meant to help you with that second section of the editor's introduction, where you're supposed to talk about the connections between the sources. So this is what all of your synthesizing activities have prepared you for. So just like you synthesized your classmates' thoughts earlier on in the semester with the online parlors, you're kind of doing the same thing here. So pulling out connections, disagreements, quotes that you can show how the sources that you've chosen for your reader's guide are in conversation with each other. So if you can do these things, then you are doing that section correctly. So I would try to find 2 quotes for each of the categories that you discuss in that section, and then kind of talk between them. Remember, your audience doesn't know much about your sources. So what do they reveal about the sources in that category, and how are they connected to the larger topic as well? So again, I suggest that you do this to help you add more content to your fixed up draft, which will be due on Monday. Okay, so I'll send out another video about that this coming Sunday like usual. But in the meantime, please let me know if you have any questions. And again, if you haven't done that organizing your sources activity, please prioritize that before you start, before you write this editor's introduction. Okay, and that's it. I'll talk to you guys on Sunday.